Hi guys, Queen here. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Okay, so join me as I demonstrate how I made the viral Dubai chocolate bar. So first of all, you're going to need a mold. I got this from Amazon. And then I'll be just adding some edible gold flakes. Okay, that's me adding the edible gold flakes. And then I'll be adding some, just for decoration, I'm going to melt down some white chocolate and put some blue coloring in it just to zhuzh it up a little bit and make it, aesthetically pleasing. So here I am going to be using the double boiler method. So, that's what I'm doing there. I'm just melting down the chocolate. Next thing I'll be doing is adding the blue coloring to it and just adjusting the color to my liking. Then I'll be adding it into a little sandwich baggie to put on the mold, but I don't suggest that. You could just, if your chocolate is pliable enough, you could just kind of splash it on there, and that's what I'll do next time. You see that? See, it worked, but I wouldn't suggest it because first of all, that was the bag. The heat went through the bag, and this wasn't the best idea. Anyway, moving right along. So I can barely pronounce that, but I think it's Knafeh. So anyway, got that from Amazon as well. As you can see, I'm not measuring. I don't know any measurements. I'm just winging it. So that's what you're going to have to do too. Just do what I'm doing. That's all I can tell you. So I'm going to put some down as much as I think I need. That stuff was so messy. It was so messy. But there I am kind of trying to gauge what I think I might need. Then I went back and I added just a little bit more on there. So now I'm chopping it up and it's flying everywhere. After I get done chopping it up, I'm going to be adding it into that cast iron pot that you see there. And I'm going to put, I think I'm using a half a cup of butter. Not half a cup, a half a stick of butter. So I'll be putting it over there in my cast iron pan. You see there I am adding the butter. Guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is a new channel. I appreciate you being here. So, adding it. And then after all of the Knafeh, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's phyllo dough. I think it's dried phyllo dough. But the stuff is delicious. Especially when everything is combined, So we're just going to get it brown. Just keep browning it. Make sure your heat is not up too high, just have patience. So I'm gonna stop mine right there, and here I am getting started on the chocolate. I decided to go with, again, I'm not measuring, a little bit of dark chocolate and a little bit of milk chocolate. And again, this is for the bottom of my mold, my chocolate mold. So I'm gonna melt that chocolate down, and then I'll be putting it, that's gonna be the bottom, well actually the top layer of the chocolate bar. That's the tahini. I ended up finding that at Publix, I haven't seen it anywhere else. Well, actually, I have seen it at Ingles. It's the pistachio butter that I hadn't seen anywhere else than other than Publix. Well, I did see it on Amazon, but you know, outside of online. And there it is, the pistachio butter. That stuff is so good. So like I said, I got that at Publix, or you can get it on Amazon. So there I am, just trying to gauge. Guys, I am winging it, but it turned out delicious. Oopsie. All right, so like I said, there's no measurements here. We are winging it, and that's okay. Get out of there. Okay. I'm going to be just giving that a good mix. A mix. Oop. See? That's that bull crap. Now, I had to regroup because, honey, that stuff was getting on my nerves. It really was. But anywho, mix. Again, no measuring. I'm adding a little bit of salt to kind of, you know, marry the flavors together, I guess. Or you need it, trust me. Don't forget that. Don't forget that part. Don't skip that. So I'm just trying to gauge the consistency that I want this stuff to be. So there I am, melting the remainder of the chocolate. So you see, just a little bit more mixing. This takes patience. It really does. Just wanting to get all of the lumps out. And this is Ghirardelli chocolate. You can use, I've seen people use all kinds. So I had that in the refrigerator while I was prepping the chocolate. And so, like I said, this is it's going to be the top of the candy. So, distributing it evenly all over. And after I get it distributed into the molds, I'm going to turn it out on a wire rack just to get the excess off. Also, I'm gonna shake some of that chocolate back into the you know, the bowl. And then turn it on a wire rack. I put a little bit of parchment paper down so it doesn't get too messy. Oh, this is messy. This is messy, honey, and it requires some cleanup. Okay, so there it is on the wire rack. And that's what I got after the excess had been, you know, and then there I am putting it in the freezer. So I put it in the freezer while I work on the rest. So I decided to add a little bit more of the tahini. Because like I said, I'm looking for that consistency. And just mixing. And then there's the chocolate. It's out of the freezer. Now, since I got my consistency the way I wanted it, I'm going to just be distributing it in the molds. Into the mold. I think that consistency is good. Y'all, this is so good. You gotta try it. Oh my God, it's so good. I am obsessed. And I'm so glad it worked out my first try. Okay, so after I get that all, in there evenly, I'm going to be adding the last layer of chocolate on top of that. That's going to be the bottom. I just hit it on the counter just a little bit to make sure everything gets everywhere. It's distributed. Okay, just hit it on the counter a little bit more, not too much. Then I'm adding the rest of that chocolate on top because that's the bottom of the chocolate bar. Then I'm just going to get a random utensil to smooth it all out. And after that, I'll be putting it back in the freezer just to harden up. And honestly, after this, it had gotten late. I was so tired. So I just put it in the freezer, and this is the next day. I couldn't wait anymore. I had to go to sleep. So anywho, I am so happy and proud of the way it turned out, but that's how it is. So I am taking it out of the mold. Ooh. And look how beautiful it turned out. Beautiful. So nice. So after I got it out of that mold, I just got my knife and cleaned up the edges and cut them into actual bars. That's what you see there. And oh my God, it turned out so good, guys. If you're thinking about making it, comment down below. If you got any questions, I'll try to answer them as best I can. But this turned out amazing. Oh my God. Guys, turn your notifications on so you won't miss anything that I am posting. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, and that's how I stored them. It didn't last long, but that's the way I stored them. Thank you. Bye.